Hello children, very good morning. Warm welcome to the class. Today in botany class we are continuing chapter 1, asexual and sexual reproduction in plants, under which the title pollination and its types. We know that pollination which takes place in plants either by self-pollination or through by cross-pollination. Cross-pollination which depends on the external agents. The external agents are two types: abiotic agents and biotic agents. In the previous session, you may remember abiotic agents is of the cross-pollination, such as wind and water, how it is helps to pollinate the flowers in plants we discuss. The continuation of the same, in which biotic agents in which we will start with zoophily. Let us continue. See this picture. What these animals are doing. A bird which is very popularly known as hummingbird sitting on the corolla of a flower. You see the corolla of the flower is brightly colored, long, funnel shaped, tubular in nature. The animal which has a long beak. The next picture in the right side, where a flying bat is trying to do something in a flower of a cactus. What these animals are doing, both animals are trying to collect nectar from the flowers. But if you observe, during the visit, when the bat visit the flower, they trying to collect the nectar. When they trying to collect the nectar, accidentally they are carrying the pollen grains of the flower, and which transferring the pollen grain to the another flower. So if animals which helps in pollinating the flowers, then the phenomena is called zoophily. Pollination which is affected by agency of animals, any kind of animal, is called as zoophily, and the flowers which are pollinated by animals are called as zoophilus. There are different types of animals which brings about pollination in plants. As you are aware, the pollination which brings out by animals such as birds, bat, snails, insects. Of these, if you observe, insects are well adapted to bring pollination. Sometimes larger animals like primates, lemurs, arboreal rodents. Arboreal rodent means rodent which used to climb on the tree. Reptiles, especially garden lizard, have also brings about pollination in plants. They are collectively called as pollinators. Let us continue different types of animals, how they are pollinating the flowers. First, ornithophili. What is meant by ornithophili? Pollination by birds is called ornithophily. Some of the common plants which are pollinating by birds are Erythrina indica, bombax, syzygium, bignonia, stelizia. What are the animals involved in pollination? Hummingbirds, sunbird, honey eaters, are some of the birds which are regularly visits flower to collect the nectar and also brings about pollination. Let us see the characteristic features of flowers which are pollinated by birds. So flowers which are pollinated by birds are called as Ornithophilus Flash. Generally, Ornithophilus Flash are larger in size. Flowers may be tubular, as you observe. The flowers which are tubular or cup shaped. Sometimes it may be urn shaped. You can see the urn shaped structure. The flowers are brightly colored. So colors may be red, scarlet, pink, orange, blue, yellow, which are attracts the birds. Flowers are generally scentless in Anemophilus flowers. Anemophilus flowers, if you observe, they are quite small, inconspicuous, but Ornithophilus flowers are just opposite to the Anemophilus flowers. Anemophilus flowers, they are scentless. Flowers are generally producing large quantities of nectar in Ornithophilus flowers. Pollen and nectar form the floral rewards for the birds which are visiting the flowers. If you observe the floral parts, generally they are tough, leathery. Generally, they are very tough and leathery, so they can withstand the powerful impact of the visitors, such as birds. So they can carry the weight of the flower. They can bear the weight of the bird. So easily they are not affected. They are not damaged by the birds. Next one, which we are going to see, Cairo Therophile. What is meant by Cairo Therophile? Pollination is carried out by birds is called Cairo Therophile. Some of the common plants which are pollinated by birds. Birds which are pollinating some plants. Some plants in which when the bat is visiting, they are collecting the nectar. Accidentally, they are carrying the pollen grains. Some of the Cairo Therophilus plants which are pollinated by bat are Clagelia africana, Adansonia digitata. Keep remember, bats are nocturnal. That means they comes out in the night and are attracted by the odor of the flowers that open at or after dusk. See this picture, how a bat is trying to collect the nectar. While collecting the nectar, accidentally the flower get pollinated by the bat. So the nocturnal animal bat which helps to pollinating flower is called Cairo Therophile. Bat which pollinating flowers are called as Cairo Therophilus. Let us continue. The next one, pollination which takes place by animals called Zoophily, in which Malacophily. What's mean by Malacophily? We can identify the animal which is in the picture is nothing but snail. So pollination by slugs and snail is called Malacophily. We know that Zoophily means pollination which effectively takes place by animals, which includes birds, bats, lizards, snails, and insects. Pollination effectively carried out by slugs and snails in some plants. For example, plants like Ericaceae, which are pollinated by snails. Water snails, which are crawling on the plants and pollinating them. You can see in this picture, right bottom down, there is a plant which is called lemna. Lemna is a water loving plant found in the pond water. This plant is generally pollinated by water snails. Water snails which are crawling on them and pollinating effectively on lemna plant. So what's meant by malacophily, children? Malacophily is nothing but pollination which takes place by slugs and snails. Plants of Ericaceae are pollinated by snails. Dear students, in this video we discuss pollination takes place by snails and slugs called malacophily, pollination by birds, and also we discuss about how pollination which takes place in birds called ornithophili. So under the zoophily, in which today three different kinds of pollination takes place by different animals: pollination by birds, pollination by bats, and pollination by snails and slugs. Dear students, in the next class, in the next video, we will continue with pollination by biotic agents, okay, such as insects. Thank you.